Hello, Sirona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stay with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle? Wonder who lives here.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon Rookwood's played a hand in his disappearance.
Excuse me, did you say something about Bardolph Beaumont?
I did. I don't think we've met. I'm Dorothy Sprottle. I was just worrying about Claire Beaumont's brother Bardolph, only he's gone missing. Rumour is he was seen in the forest practising dark magic. Saw him myself near some ruins with Rookwood's lot I did. I fear he got himself into trouble with the Ashwinders, especially if he made them a promise he couldn't keep. I'd help search for him myself, but no one will risk encountering Ranrock's loyalists. They seem to be everywhere.
Do you think Bardolph may have simply run off?
No. Bardolph's run that shop with Claire his entire life. He'd not give it up for anything. He swore he'd be back in a fortnight. My instincts are that he's been held captive, or worse.
Why would Bardolph want to get involved with the Ashwinders?
Oh, he had a terrible run-in with Ranrock's loyalists. Changed him. He vowed never to feel powerless again. I think he sought the Ashwinders out to learn their secrets. Victor Rookwood, at least, seems somehow immune to Ranrock's loyalists.
I can certainly look out for him.
Any help would be appreciated. You might speak to Claire first. Perhaps she has some insights that I don't. I can tell you that Bardolph was last seen in the forest wearing a particular woolen jumper, one that Claire knitted herself. Claire will be at her shop if you'd like to speak with her.
prove dangerous if I'm not careful.
I don't see myself doing this sort of thing forever, though. Fancy I'll have my own option.
Revelio. Levioso. Confringo. Accio. Incendio. Levioso. Is that Inferius wearing a woolly jumper? That must be odd. Accio. Want to know what really happened. Incendio! Revelio! This mentions Inferi, and something about it being Bardolph's turn next. Revelio! An entry from Bardolph's journal. He overheard whispers, a plan, something to do with him. Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle?
Brownlock's loyalists are a menace. What can be done?
Madame Beaumont, I believe I have some news of your brother.
Bardolph? What do you know of my brother?
I regret to say that Bardolph had been turned into an Inferius, and I had to kill him.
What? But how could you possibly think that an Inferius was my brother Bardolph? That's absurd!
He was wearing a woolen jumper, hand-knitted.
No. No. This can't be.
I'm truly sorry. I wish it had been better news. I wish you well, Madame Beaumont.
What more could I have done? Oh, Bardolph! Bardolph! My dear, dear
Nice to see you again, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Oh, goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawklumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it.
I should have done more. I shall never forgive myself.
I couldn't help but overhear. Did you mention Ranrock's loyalists?
I did. My apologies. I've not been myself since we last met. Ranrock and his followers have set up camp here. No regard for our beloved hamlet or our livelihoods. Ruthless. It's Ranrock I have to thank for losing Bardolph. If only I could somehow rid our hamlet of these monsters. I'm simply at my wit's end.
Why don't you simply leave the area for now?
Upper Hogsfield is my home. Bardolph and I grew up here. I can't believe he's never coming home. Part of me wants to avenge the loss of my brother, whilst another part of me simply wants to hide.
You said Ranrock's loyalists have set up camp here. Where, precisely?
To the south, across the river. Last I heard, there were several loyalists in each camp. I won't go near them.
I'm unfortunately quite familiar with Ranrock's loyalists. Perhaps I can do something.
Much as I would love to be rid of them, I wouldn't want you to risk injury, or worse. Please be cautious. We should not have to live in fear. This is our home.
Don't be stingy. You have my thanks.
It seems as though things are getting worse. Best be on my guard.
You will regret coming here.
one of Ranrock's camps, exactly as Madame Beaumont described.
Wizards are running scared, as they should be. Wizards are running scared, as they should be. I deserve better than patrol duty.
Revelio.
Wizards are running scared, as they should be. Oh, could do with a nice mushroom stew about now. Such arrogance. One less human to worry about. Not quiet enough.
Confringo. Accio. Levioso. Accio. Levioso. You've one less follower, Ranrock. One camp down, one more to go. Revelio.
An intruder!
Revelio.
How long for a bacon and mushroom stew?
Totalis.
Who is it?
Revelio.
Who's there?
Potato.
Showing off, are we? I'm a goblin, not a toy!
You won't get away with it.
Accio.
That was unintentional.
Confringo. Accio.
Over here! Such arrogance.
Levioso.
Ah, this is where you fail.
Accio. Confringo. Levioso. Accio.
I won't rest.
Confringo.
Dead.
Levioso. Potato. Accio. Confringo. Accio.
I will make you.
Levioso. Confringo. The castle must have been both camps cleared. Madame Beaumont will be glad to hear that. Revelio. Revelio. Seems a pleasant enough little place.
I do miss the bustle of...
Hello, Madame Beaumont. Good news. I was able to clear out Ranrock's camps.
You cleared them out? How?
I managed to catch them off guard.
Oh, I wish my brother could have done what you did. Perhaps he'd still be with me now. I'm especially grateful. You did, for Bardolph, what I could not. You saved our hamlet, my young friend. This will not be forgotten. I fear for other hamlets, truly. Ranrock and his lot are unlike any goblins I've ever seen.
What do you have for sale?
Thank you for passing through.
I knew we'd never be able to see this.
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned. Hall clumps to Mrs. Sprottle, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box. Better have a look around. See about the hall clumps and the box of letters. Incendio! That's all the hall clumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased. Revelio. Lumos. Confringo. Lumos. Revelio. Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether. Potato! Confringo! Accio! Levioso! Confringo! Levioso! Confringo! Protego! Accio! Confringo! Confringo! Accio! Confringo! Protego! Levioso! Accio! Revelio! Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Accio. Revelio. Accio. Cabolso. This must be Sirona's box of letters. I should take this box of letters to Sirona. She'll be glad to have it back. I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad. Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Folks still talk.
Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk lumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is! Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
One of the letters mentions Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard, I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw. We could have cheered them on together.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.